welcome to another video, and it's one of the Sega Vintage Collection. It is the original, the best, the one, the only Streets of Rage on the Mega Drive, played via the Xbox Series X. You can also get it on PS4 and all the other machines. So what's the deal with this? Well, this was Sega's answer to Final Fight. Remember that game, Final Fight, with a big guy with a, no shirt on, and he had this thing over his... Yes. And then you had Guy and Cody. And it was an arcade game, and it was released in 1989. And then Sega thought, we can do that. We can do it one better. We'll release it for our home machines. In 1991 came this beast of a game. With 3 characters as well. Adam, Axel and Blaze. Adam being the muscle, Axel being an all-round good fighter, and Blaze being the acrobat, kick you in the balls then kick you in the face type character. Power, speed and range. That's what you get with these 3 bad people. What's the story I hear you ask? Well, I'm going to let the wee intro bit do the talking for me, so I'll be back in a second. Woo. Right, I'm back, and now we're going to talk about why I love this game so much. Because, unlike Final Fight at the time, this was on the home systems. Final Fight got a SNES release eventually, but it was marred because it only had 1 character. So they released... No, it had 2 characters. It had, was it Cody and Hagar, and then they re-released it again later on the SNES with Guy. Very strange. I just left it at that personally. Final Fight always did look better, but Streets of Rage, for me, always played better, always preferred it, even it looks a bit more primitive today, but that's fine. Still a mainstay of my fighting and just my video game life as it is. It's the reason that I fell in love with the side-scrolling co-op fighters, like, like the X-Men arcade game, or Turtles in Time, or not so much Golden Axe. I'm not a big fan of Golden Axe, to be honest. And Final Fight, because I played Streets of Rage before all of them. This is the first one, and I think I had it on like a Sega Mega Cart, and it came with, I think it was Streets of Rage, Shinobi and Columns. I don't know what Mega Games 1 or 2, or I can't remember, but that's the one I started off with. Brilliant. 8 stages, so you had the main street, the shopping district, then you had the back alleys, and then you had the beach, and then you were on a boat, and the boat moved in the background, sort of had the parallax scrolling, and it looked great because it was all at night. And then you had the factory, which wasn't the best, but it was quite short. I remember that being one of the shorter stages. And then you had the lift on the way up to Mr. X's penthouse. And then you had the corridor to the penthouse, which was a boss rush mode. Boss rushes aren't always my favourite, and it comes across as maybe a little bit lazy and cheap that they did that for the last level. But it was a small game on a 4 meg cart, so you got what you paid for, do you know what I mean? But cutting about these streets and you get bottles, you get glass folk, and you'd see the bottle smash. It's like being in fucking Union Street in Glasgow on a Friday and Saturday night. My beloved Glasgow, what have they done to you? They've ruined your ass! And then you'd get poles, baseball bats, and you could punch things, and you know, like you punch a bin and a whole cooked turkey would pop out. Or then you would scalp a phone box and an apple would appear. Very strange. You also got pepper bombs to stun people. And it wouldn't be Streets of Rage if the minute you loaded it up you pressed on that wrong fucking button and, you know, used your special attack. Did that once, maybe too often. Once, 100 times too often. And then the enemies, you get thugs. There wasn't a lot of enemies, so you get thugs, you get like punks, but at the time I thought they looked more like Ninja Turtles, so as far as I'm concerned, Ninja Turtles are the bad guys in this game. Alright, and then you'd get karate people and you'd get dominatrixes for some strange reason. Yeah, that was, I never really, what? And they were women, they weren't changed in Japan, like the way Final Fight was with Poison. Because I thought, when we got upset beating up women, I'll have to fucking turn up and whip you with a fucking whip, scalp them back. What is this? So that never really had any controversy, I don't think. But I didn't give a fuck, I was just enjoying myself smashing folks' heads in. What else do you get? You get big fat guys that breathe fire for some reason. That was strange. That was one of the boss characters. There was a Wolverine boss character and fucking Ultimate Warrior boss characters. Oh, there's wrestlers in this. He's a prick. Then you get Double Blaze as a boss. You get Wolverine, tall Wolverine, Lankerine, if you will, as a boss. Then obviously you get Mr. X. The rest is history, because you kicked his fucking ass, and after you did that, you just play the whole game again. There was actually a choice at the end, but I'll leave that one as a wee bit of a mystery if you don't know. Don't go and search it, play the fucking game. Get the Sega Vintage Collection, you've got all 3 Streets of Rage games for about £6 or £7. Then there's Streets of Rage 4 to play, which is fucking brilliant as well. They're all good games. They're all stellar pieces of work. But this is where it all began, and I just wanted to share my love of Streets of Rage. Batter in, kick some ass, take them down to Chinatown, and then scalp them in the head with a fucking baseball bat. Brilliant. See you in the next video, wherever and whenever that will be. Goodbye now. Okay, here we go. Here we go with another Streets of Rage video. This is for Streets of Rage 2 though, the sequel. And by God, what a improvement it was over the first game. You'll notice right away the graphics are better, the sprites are bigger, the actual levels are far more detailed, far more colourful, more colours, more effects, more people on the screen at one time. I think looks that way. The thugs now look like thugs with mohawks and less like Ninja Turtles. Like, that's what I thought they looked like. They look like Ninja Turtles eating pizza off the street and all that shit. Anyway, this one's set in, I assume it's the same city. 1 year later, the Syndicate they roughed up in the last one, pissed off for a year, and they went, oh, we'll just fuck off for a wee while, and that'll do fine, and we'll come back and we'll try and kick their arses again. Only in a bit more flair and a bit more silliness in this one. It's not just quite as serious. Alright, you had the fire-breathing fat guys in the first one. Really, that was all that was out of place. That's a bit weird. Oh, why are they breathing fire? Because they can. But this one's got a lot more weirdness in it. So you go through your streets, your back alleys, your motorway bridges, but you also fight like alien things in a theme park, which is a bit strange. It's like the Predator, but the whole area is like a hive for aliens, and you get wee eggs that have got very close to the design of what looks like an alien on the side. It's really strange, and then you'll fight robots later on that don't walk, they jump, they just sort of hop, they bunny hop everywhere. It's a strange game. It's like, and there's no car with a bazooka anymore. Everyone's got their own special moves. So there's a couple. You gotta use his life to use them. Really don't like that. I actually think that's really annoying. And the effects will differ, like push it in one direction and they'll do something. If you stand completely still and hit the special attack button, they'll do something else. And there's 4 characters this time. You've got Axel and Blaze from the first game. Adam's been kidnapped by the Syndicate somehow. Maybe he just wasn't paying attention and went for a coffee and they put a bag over his head or some pish. Then you've got Adam's wee brother Skate. I don't like him. And you've got Max, a big wrestler guy. And I don't like him either because it's like playing the game in slow motion. So that, no way, Jose. He's actually pretty good in Streets of Rage 4. Another thing I was noticing when I was fanning about with the third game was you can change the territory the game was released in. So you can have Europe, North America or Japan. Japan, the game is called Bare Knuckle, and I don't like that name because it's just kind of shite. Streets of Rage is much better. I don't know what it is with the Japanese things. The same with Resident Evil. It's like Biohazard in Japan. It's like Biohazard. Wow, shite name. Does that mean Resident Evil 7 in Japan is Biohazard 7 Biohazard because it's got that fucking stupid... never mind. So yeah, that was quite interesting. There are some differences in the third game, but I don't know about the other two. I need to play them all through again and find out. But nah, you can do that for me and let me know. How about that? How about a wee bit of audience participation? And they've recreated a lot of the same stages for the first game to put in this one. Obviously they want to show off the graphics. But there's a bit of a beach in the later stages. There's the streets, there's the bridge, there's also the theme park, there's the factory again near the end, there's Mr. X's penthouse thing at the beach, and it's quite fancy, I quite like that. There's a lift again, only it's slightly different. There's no wee bits to put people off of, and then you fight Shiva, and then you fight Mr. X, and he's got a machine gun because he's a big cheating wank. Machine gun again, and then the game's over, and you're like, wow, it's my favourite Streets of Rage game. I didn't mean to sound sarcastic there. There's also a battle mode if you really want to play that, and you can fight each other in that battle mode. No, I'd rather play a game that's designed to be a tournament fighter. This game really isn't designed for that. It's fun for a moment or two, but the characters are so mismatched, it's not really... Like, imagine fighting as Max versus Blaze. It's just not going to happen. They're going to be able to outmaneuver the big fat git because he moves like he's underwater. I don't know why he's so fucking slow. Mind you, you get Hood of Blazes Max and it'll be like the fucking mountain fighting Oberyn Series 4 of Game of Thrones. People like crush your head in one fell swoop. Wouldn't that be funny? Game's not that gory. And there's new enemies as well. I say there's robots and there's kickboxers and there's a big fat boxer guy that looks like Sinbad. There's there's just new things to see and kick fuck at you, so it's quite nice. Samurai swords and shit, and there's the poles again, and then there's the knives again, and there's punks that throw knives at you. You've got the whip ladies out, the Electras are back out again, and some prick called Donovan at the end of the first level, who, I don't know, it looks like a businessman that's just lost his mind. Too much cocaine probably, you know. Anyway, I've dribbled on enough shite about this. This is my favourite game, favourite game of the series, I should say. So get playing it and let me know what you think. Tatty bye now. Oh, here we go with the third Streets of Rage video game review thing. So, welcome one and all, and this is Streets of Rage 3. And not my favourite of the series, probably my least favourite of the series. There are branching paths in this game. There's a new character called Zan who works with used to work with the Bad Syndicate boys. There is some differences with the Japanese version. I'll show you one in particular later on. And the game is harder than a T-Rex shit. I need to get a pneumatic drill to get through this game. Also, if you put the game on easy, you can't finish the entire story, which is very, very annoying. I don't like shit like that. You're being punished for playing it on an easier mode. Why not just give us like a cat tail or something like that? Wanted Dead gave you cat ears for playing on easy, and I didn't know that existed, so I'm going to go back to that game. And I'm going to spank its ass with cat ears. I think it's a mockery to me, but I think it's even more of a mockery to the people that made the game, that I beat their game whilst wearing cat ears. So Streets of Rage 3, very similar to the last two really. The graphics are really nice. I really like the graphics, they're good. They are on the more realistic side, they've got more shading, they just look harder than Streets of Rage 2, it looked a little bit more cartoony. Like, all your special moves from the last game are here. You know, you've got Axel, Blaze, Skate and Zan. Zan's good because he's got the reach and he turns every weapon into a fireball, and then if you like do the dodge or the rush maneuver, you can launch them like a bowling ball. It's quite fun, and it'll come up with a wee health bar. Now, this game's a lot more varied than the last two. Like I said, it's got branching paths, it's got some time limits, which I don't like. I don't like time limits. You need to find a bomb in a police station or a hospital, I can't remember which it was, and then you've got robots to fight again, and you'll come across like a circus performer guy. He's a clown with a whip called Bruce. I know Bruce the clown, and he has a kangaroo with him, and if you defeat him and not the kangaroo, you can then control the kangaroo. There's a way to control Shiva as well from the first level, but I forget how. But that's neither really here nor there, you know. And yeah, it's rock hard, this game. It's so difficult. I was getting really pissed off with it actually. To get the footage, I didn't get anywhere near finishing it. I think I finished this game like once or twice. I don't play it very often. I think the first two are better. They're just more evenly, evenly matched for my level of crapness. But I do like the new character, Zan. Big robot guy with like a Fu Manchu moustache. It's weird, and he's grey. And there's cutscenes in this. Like, they're talking to each other. It's like, oh, I think we should get down and batter fuck out of him. Like, okay, let's go do that. And then they go do that, and then you get a doing because it's harder than you thought it was going to be. and they're like robot imposters, so you actually fight Axel in one of the earlier stages, but it's a robot! Surprise! It's a robot! Yeah, great at it. There's also stages, they're like, not quite puzzle stages, but well, the example here is there's one with a bulldozer, and you have to destroy blocks of concrete. You can also punch the bulldozer away, so you sort of coming and going, coming and going, coming and going. It's annoying, very. Yeah, 'cause I'm crap at it. Hello, old man. But it just shows a wee bit more ingenuity than the last two. There's a wee bit more variety. It's just a shame that it's wrapped up in a game that's so hard that I don't enjoy it as much. And the funny thing is, you get to Mr. X, and he's not the last boss. And he turns into the Terminator. Sorry, spoilers!
Spoilers all over here.
But in saying all that, all the negative thoughts I do have on it, it is still a good game, and I would still absolutely recommend that you put it on and you play it. Because let's face it, when you buy it now, you buy it as a bundle, so you'll get all 3 games, or you can get the Sega Mega Drive collection on Xbox, Switch and PS4, and you'll get more than just Streets of Rage games. You'll get other ones, some are good, some are not so good. I'll maybe have a wee look at that in the future, or I'll maybe just review individual games from that collection, but I'll say that it's from that collection, right? Because they are individual games. I don't really know how I can conceptualise reviewing that package of games and giving everything or giving things the proper amount of time, so I'd rather talk about them individually. Just my personal way of doing things, of course. And that will bring a close to Streets of Rage 3 review. Not as good as the first two, still worth a play, but it's very hard. Good night. Bloody windy here today. It's like I don't know, air moving fast. Hi, welcome back one and all. I'm going to do a Streets of Rage 4 review for you today, and for myself, because I want to. But first I want to talk about Streets of Rage 1, 2 and 3. 1 being a bit of an awakening for me as a young gamer. So much so that I refer to every other side-scrolling fighting game of that type a Streets of Rage game. That was the first side-scrolling beat-em-up that I had played, and it had a huge impact on my wee life. Now this game came out, the original Streets of Rage came out 28 years ago. 28 years, that's a long time. Seems like 3 or 4 lifetimes at this point. Then you had 2 and then 3. 2 being my personal favourite, still is my personal favourite, but 4 has now sneaked in, taking second place. With the third one being my least favourite, because it's just felt a bit weird, if I'm being perfectly honest. The third game always I had a more sort of grittier, harder, more, I don't know, metallic machine-like sheen to it, whereas the second game was really cartoony, and the first game was, well, it was basically an 8-bit game upscaled to play in a 16-bit machine. So it was a very early Mega Drive title, and it looked like a Master System game. That's what I thought anyway. I've never played Streets of Rage on the system, or Streets of Rage 2 on the Master System, which did get a release, and I was really surprised to see that. And you're like, what the fuck? Anyway, they're great games, and I highly recommend you go and pick them up, because you can get them everywhere. You can get remakes of various shapes and sizes, you get remasters, or ones on the 360 that work on the Xbox One. There was recently another Sega Mega Drive Genesis collection released on Xbox One and PS4. They're on there too, although those are a bit inferior to the one that came before it. There was a Mega Drive Ultimate collection on PS3 and 360, but it had the better games. But if you still want Streets of Rage, you can totally get it. It's not an issue, which is, I think, is great. Right, on with SOR4 now. Have to say, how beautiful was that wee intro, eh? Brilliant. Reminds me of Saturday morning cartoons when I was a wee guy, and that fucking brilliant 80s music, man. That synth, this 80s revival's been going on for years now, and I think it's just the best. Loving it. Got myself into synthwave a few years ago. Never looked back since. Mate, it's just the greatest. Anyway, more about SOR 4, as I like to call it every now and again. I never call it that. SOR 4. Bare Knuckle 4 if you're in Japan. So this game is made by somebody called Lizard Cube in conjunction with Sega. I was very surprised to see Streets of Rage 4 get a release, even been talked about. Because they've sat in that series since Streets of Rage 3 came out back in the mid-90s. You're like, well, why is it taking you so long? I shouldn't really complain about that. We should be rejoicing at the fact that we've got a fourth game at all. And not just having a fourth game, but having a fourth game that's actually really bloody good. Which is, you know, I was kind of expecting this to be okay. Like, you've seen other games get, like, HD remakes, like your Double Dragons and your Turtles, Turtles in Time back in the late 2000s, and they were shite, man. I mean, Double Dragon Neon's an embarrassment. I hate it, and the sequel was worse. There's too many of these games coming out now with their 3D graphics, and they feel like shit. They feel hollow, and it's just this is such an amazing title, and I'm very happy to report that it's a cracker. And if you are a Streets of Rage fan, if you're just like an old school fan, or you like your old school 2D walking from left to right brawlers, buy this baby. You'll not be disappointed. It's about 20 quid, give or take, depending on which version you get and where you get it. Brilliant. So you get 12 characters in total, but you only start off with 4, and you have to unlock the rest. So far, I've only unlocked Adam, and I'm about 6 stages deep, so I don't know how long the game is. I don't know if you'll need to do certain things in stages to get them all, but every character's back, plus there's new ones. Some of them are good, some of them are not so good. Cherry, I'm not a big fan of Cherry. She's the daughter of Adam, and then there's this other guy that's got like Jax, like arms from Mortal Kombat 2, with the big power arms. He's pretty good. I've enjoyed him. I loved picking 2 enemies up and smashing them against each other, and then flinging them away. And you obviously get Axel and Blaze is very, very nice looking. Axel looks like he's been hitting the stout and the cheeseburgers maybe a little bit too much. He looks a bit dishevelled and fat, shall we say. But still a great character nonetheless. And all the old moves are back. You're ribbed up, whatever that was supposed to fucking be, and you're whoa when you defeat somebody and all that shit, you know what I mean? Had a right laugh at work about that the other year, talking about Streets of Rage and how daft they sound now, but they're just so, I couldn't live without them. Plus, you can play the original soundtrack over the new games if you do so wish. So, not much more I can really whiffle on and prat on about this game. It's a great wee side scroller. I hope they do a Golden Axe in the same vein. Doubt it, kinda, but we can hope and dream. I mean, look where the hopes and dreams led us. They led us to Streets of Rage 4, people. So, there's always a possibility. And Sega really should be doing more with their fucking IPs. I mean, alright, they get pumped to the console market, which was mostly their own stupid fault for many, many, many stupid decisions. But they've got some cracking IPs like Panzer Dragoon, and we've recently seen a remake of that releasing the Switch. Only the Switch, I believe, and I think it's getting the sequel, Panzer Dragoon 2 or 2. It's getting the remake treatment, which is my favourite of the Panzer Dragoon games. So come on, Sega, give us the goods, baby. No more Virtua Fighter though, I'm sick of fucking fighting games. Right, peace out, people. See you in the next one.